Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Coming to Resolution. I have a very specific topic I want to talk about today. I had a thought last night while I was watching a live stream of genuine creators on the internet and how it's really hard for genuine people to find their people or even to get much of a following because there's so much bullshit on the internet, you know? There's so many people out there who put on this face like this is what I want you to see. And whenever someone new comes along and come to find out that that's not the person that they are, then it ruins the image of that person to the new follower. You know what I mean? Um, and then they get hurt or they get upset, whatever, because they started to get invested in this person, and then come to find out it's just it's a it's a mask, you know, which really sucks. Because there's because there's so much bullshit and so many people who are out here portraying what they think people want to see versus just who they are. It gives a really bad name for almost every creator because there's enough of those bad eggs to ruin being a genuine person on the internet. And I'm kind of fucking sick of it. I've seen I've seen people post positive shit, and they want to get their numbers up, and that's cool, but they post positive shit and they post even like motivational shit or something that makes you feel seen or heard or whatever, and then come to find out it's just click this link. You know what I mean? And then it turns out that that person isn't even close to the person that they're portraying to be, um, as their actual character. You know, their personal integrity. It's just not the same thing. It's all a facade. And I'm really beginning to hate the internet because of that. There's so much that I see where I want to believe that people are being genuine and people are really trying to be positive on the internet, and then something will come out about them, and something will it'll be like the most heinous shit. Like there was one streamer who she as far as I know, she was kind of a positive creator, and she like played the victim in a particular situation, and then come to find out the people involved had evidence against her that she was the actual abuser in the situation. Um, she put on this facade that she played the victim. You know, she went on stream talking about this and that and how she's right and I don't need these people and blah blah blah. But she was the one who was doing the heinous shit. She was responsible for the abuse in the situation. And I've been in a situation like that before. It just it just wasn't with a content creator. Having seen stuff like that, it just really bothers me because I don't understand the need. I mean, I do. I get it. They don't want to come off as bad as they are. They want to seem like they're a good person to their audience or their demographic or whatever the fuck, you know. They want to get more followers and make money on the internet. You know, I get it, but I don't understand the need to be fake about it because there's a demographic for everything. You want to be a piece of shit, there's a demographic for that. You want to be a good person, there's a demographic for that, you know? I'm a firm believer in be who you are. Um, that being said, there's a lot of shit that I see on the internet that shouldn't be on the internet. Period. There there are people who are portraying a character of this holier than thou kind of person, you know, not necessarily holier than thou, but a good person, a good example of leadership and positivity and so on and so forth. But you just barely scratch the surface, and you can see that that's not them. There's a, there's even a, I'm not going to get into what he did, but there is a new priest or pastor, whatever the actual title is, in my home state of Texas, and he was once on America's Most Wanted. I'm not gonna go into why, because I'm gonna get really fucking angry about it. But it's just like he's not a creator of any sort, but he's putting on this facade to lead this church, and the church knows of his history, and they fucking let him in anyway, and it's baffling to me. I understand wearing a mask in order to mask emotions and get through the day, or that's even a thing with autism, because a lot of people are really good at masking autism to come across as normal to the general public and people around them. But that's because they don't want to be judged. They don't want to be bullied, or whatever the case is. They don't want the negative interaction. But masking in terms of making a facade and playing a character that you're not, it fucking drives me insane. Especially with the internet being what it is, and so many people getting on the internet to make money, or maybe they just want to feel important, like those people who put on the mask and then later on get exposed for the actual person that they are, make it really hard for anybody to believe that there are genuine people on the internet. It gives people with real character a bad name. There's quite a few creators that I have spoken to personally, and one specifically that I'm really close with. They're all genuine people. There's even a musician that I know, and he is a real genuine person. He doesn't come across on the internet putting on a mask. He doesn't do any of that bullshit. None of these people do. And I've noticed that, and I've even heard two of them talk about it. It's really hard to not get fucked with, because everybody wants to try to poke holes in your character. Everybody wants to, you're not this person, but they're truly being who they are. You know what I mean? With these people, you might get like a more censored version of them. You might get a little more of a friendly version of them, but that's not a mask. It's because they're trying not to go against terms of service. You know what I mean? They're trying not to offend people. That's I view that as different than playing an entirely different character than you actually are. You know what I mean? When people are portraying a character, it's because they don't want to expose themselves for the shitty person that they really truly are most of the time. If they are not if they're not a shitty person, but they're putting on a mask, then they're just insecure. And that's an entirely different conversation. But I just don't understand the need to try to be a content creator and hey, I see you, I hear you, you're loved, blah blah blah, but then it's just bullshit for clout. You know what I mean? That kind of circles back to the men's mental health videos in a way, because there are certain creators who will post things specifically for men, because now it's now men's mental health as a topic is getting popularity, and people are trying to, it seems to me that people are trying to use that to get clout and go viral and so on and so forth. And the few genuine creators, and again, one of them I'm very close with and know personally, the very few genuine creators get shit on, or people go out of their way to try to expose them for someone that they're not, you know? It's It's wild to me that we're going out of our way because of bad eggs. And there are always going to be shitty people. Period. Internet or not, there's always going to be shitty people. But to go out of your way to try to make someone a shitty person when they're not is wild to me. It's fucking insane. Um, Especially if they've never done anything to ever show that they're a shitty person, or their character is anything other than what they have actually shown you. But again, in a way, I understand, for the simple fact that there's enough bad eggs on the internet who are just playing a character, that it makes it really hard to believe that anybody on the internet is genuine. And I really wish that weren't the case. I really truly wish that weren't the case. I'm a really big fan of genuine people, and it's so fucking rare to come across any of them nowadays because everybody's got to put on a face. Everyone wants you to see someone that they're not, you know. I hate it. It's like high school bullshit, you know. High school was full of people who, like the popular kids in high school, they were always putting on faces and trying to be someone that they weren't so they could be that popular kid and maintain their quote unquote status like it fucking mattered. Um, and it's stupid. Like, why are we so obsessed as a society with portraying a character and being people that we're not? That shit's fucking draining. That shit doesn't do anything other than get you numbers. And like, yeah, numbers are cool, but what is it really doing for you? That's fucking draining. I, Whenever I was in theater as a kid, playing a character was fun, but it was for the purpose of a play. You know what I mean? It wasn't my entire personality. Weirdly enough, the people that I have always gotten along with were the people who were getting bullied or were just weird people, weird to the societal norm, I guess, you know. But like what other people would consider weird. Um, those are the people I got along with, and maybe that's just because I'm also a weird person, but um, they never had to put on a face. They never had to pretend to be someone they're not. They were just them, you know. Authenticity is a rare trait, and if you find someone who is authentically them, I think that person should be really um, valuable to you. Considering the fact that most people, even off the internet, they're putting on a show. You go to a job interview and you censor yourself, you know. You are not, you're not truly being completely who you are because you're trying to put your best foot forward and make an impression, right? And whenever you get the job and you just kind of settle into it and so on and so forth, then your character is revealed. You know, you as a person show yourself because you are at this job. You've now settled in, you've gotten to know people, and you're comfortable. Same shit happens in relationships, even. First date, you put your best foot forward because you're trying to make an impression. You're trying to maintain this person's attention. And then whenever you get comfortable, your actual character is shown. And if you're a shitty person, if you're an unhealed person in that relationship, then that's going to bleed into your relationship. It's going to depending on what kind of person you are with that hurt or whatever, it may even completely ruin the relationship. You know what I mean? It's not something that the other person is ever going to see coming because you're putting on an impression. Which is why I'm a really big advocate when it comes to relationships, to get to know your person. Spend time getting to know your person. Let them show you who they are. Um, Same thing with friendships. I really fucking hate that I even have to touch this, but I've experienced it so much in my own personal life. It's just fucking wild to me. Whenever I first meet someone, usually I hear pretty good things about this person, and they don't come across to me as someone who has any kind of intention to lie to my face or um, be involved in the normal day-to-day drama bullshit, right? Come to find out, that's exactly the kind of person they are. You know, they're a gossipy kind of person, and I I don't I don't care to gossip. They could be just a pathological liar, you know, and that shit drives me nuts too. That's why I'm that's why I'm also a really big advocate for keeping your circle small. If you're gonna let people into your life on a personal level, that circle needs to be small. And even if it is small, you might come to find out that none of those people are good people, and that really sucks. It really, really sucks because they have you fooled into believing that they are good people, and they're only there to be your friend or whatever the case is, and then that's not the case. They're just shitty people with a mask on. That makes me question as well, how are parents raising their kids? Especially people like that. How are they going to raise their kids or raising their kids? I don't understand. Because what I would like to believe is that we are raising, or we should be raising people to be better than us, right? We raise our kids to be better than we were. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It feels to me like people realize way too late whenever their kids are grown and so on and so forth. Like they obviously weren't prepared to raise a kid, but they they didn't know what they were doing, and they were doing their best and so on and so forth. But that's just, in these particular situations, it doesn't quite make sense that you would not try to do better than your best when raising a child, because you're raising a real person. That kid is going to be an adult in society and living real life. And then when that if that person grows up to be a traumatized, fucked up kind of person, they're just going to be they're they're going to be bleeding that trauma and that pain that came from their parents onto the rest of the world around them. I have personally been that kid. I was the kid whose parents' bullshit just bled all over them. And it turned into, I was an angry, I don't want to say traumatized, but for lack of a better word, I guess that's what we'll use. I was just an angry fucking kid because I was mad at the world that this happened, and this didn't happen. And I only knew so much about, you know, emotional regulation, um, and I only knew so much about trying to get my feelings out. And if I couldn't get my feelings out, then I exploded. Whenever something would happen, I fucking exploded. And I don't want to be that person as an adult. I don't want to raise kids that way. I don't want that to be in my relationships. Like I don't want that. So I'm not that person anymore. But what I've noticed is that people will go years and years and years with this facade that they put on for outside people, whether you're at a work Christmas party or you're on the internet posting about this or that. You could even be a streamer, and it's whoever your character is on stream is not who you are. And whenever that person that you are gets exposed, people don't like you anymore. You know what I mean? Because you're a facade. Authenticity is a very rare trait, especially on the internet, because everybody wants to be this person who is going to get numbers. Everybody follows trends, and it's trendy to be shitty. It's trendy to be wrapped up in drama. It's fucking stupid. But we've accepted it as a society, and that doesn't make sense to me. I feel like if anything, we should not accept facade. We should be looking for authenticity. And if you don't like someone for who they are when they are authentically themselves, then move the fuck on. Find a different creator. You know, like it's not something complicated. I don't feel like it's hard to just go find another creator. There's hundreds of thousands of them. You know what I mean? It's real fucking easy. And whenever you do like someone who is authentically themselves, then that's, and you even if you don't agree with everything that they say, I mean, that's, you found a creator. I'm a really big fan of Chris and Peach off of the To Be Better podcast. Those two are really good people. I've sat in this chair playing video games with them, and they are genuinely good people. They're funny as fuck too. Um, they don't care to put on a mask and be on here trying to show you someone they're not. You know, they don't give a fuck to do that, and I admire that kind of shit. Singer of the Word Alive, he's the same way. He gives zero fucks to put on a mask for numbers. You know, like he's a musician. His whole career it relies on numbers, but he doesn't care to put on a mask for that. I like that. Anytime I've been to a concert where he's playing a show, I will go and hang out with him if I can, you know, because he's a real person. There's people out there for everybody. You know what I mean? It's not complicated, I don't think, to find your people, but if you don't like someone for the person they are, move the fuck on. If you truly believe that someone is being disingenuous on the internet, move the fuck on. Don't give them the attention. Don't go out of your way trying to poke holes in their character, because it doesn't fucking matter. If that person is a shitty person, authentically or not, they are just going to be that person. Doesn't matter what you say. Yeah, you got 5 seconds of attention if they decide to acknowledge it, you know, but doesn't matter. It does nothing for you, it does nothing for them. It's not going to make them see some kind of revelation to make them change their ways or any of that bullshit. Like, it just doesn't happen that way. I don't understand what we're doing with this. Let me poke holes in this person's character, and then let me go over, as a creator, go and put on a facade for however many people are in my audience. You know, like it's fucking stupid to me. The internet is a weird place, and I'm beginning to hate it more and more. I get on the internet to do this, and I watch reels. I don't even go on TikTok anymore because everything's a fucking ad. Everybody has the agenda of making money, and like, that's cool and all, but where's the passion? Where's the authenticity of you? Granted, there are some creators who just make funny shit, like dancing chickens or something stupid like that, but you know, it's just so few and far between, I feel, because I don't ever see it. um, I can click on not interested as many times as I want. I still see the same shit. Everything is an ad. Hey, go in the TikTok shop. Hey, click this link. Hey, go to this website and put in this code. I get it. You're trying to make money, but not everything has to be an ad. I'm in a weird mental space with this whole thing, because I feel like it's not hard to be authentically you. There's a few creators on there on the internet, who truly believe are genuine people, and they're generally good people. But I just really wish there wasn't enough bad examples of quote unquote good people to make it hard to believe that people are genuine on the internet. And then that begets a whole can of fucking worms. I don't know. I don't really have a solution for that other than to be your fucking self. But we've heard that forever, and people still put on this facade. Maybe that's because it's hard to be the popular person and feel important with a certain status. Being your authentic self, maybe that's the case, but there are people out there for everybody, whether that be friends or viewers or, you know, a community even. There's people out there for everybody. Some of those people um, are genuinely really good people. I just wish we weren't putting on a show. You know, I understand doing funny skits and planning out, you know, shit like that. I totally understand that. That's a totally different thing, but it's just a show. Everywhere it's a show. YouTube, you have clickbaity titles and thumbnails that have nothing to do with whatever they're doing in the video, and TikTok, everything is an ad, and if it's not an ad, it's disinformation about misinformation about whatever the fuck. And um it's mostly about health shit that I see misinformation on, but you know, like it's just dumb shit everywhere. uh, I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, that's all I have for that one. I'll see you in the next one.